There was a night in Mecca when I stopped walking and could not move. Thousands of people were all around me, pressing against each other, praying out loud, moving in circles around the Kaaba. But I stood completely still. My father was ahead of me and did not notice I had stopped. The crowd kept moving around me. And then I saw something that changed every single thing about my life. But let me start from the beginning so you understand who I was before that night. My name is Zainab al-Rashid. My father, Al-Haji Musa al-Rashid, was one of the richest men in our city. He had big cars, many houses, and people who worked for him everywhere. When he walked into a room, everyone stood up. When he spoke, everyone listened. I was his only daughter, and he treated me like a queen. I had everything. Clothes from the best places. A phone that cost more than some people earn in a whole year. A driver who took me to school every morning. My father paid for everything without asking questions. He loved me in the way that rich fathers love their daughters. He wanted me to have what he never had when he was growing up. So he gave me the world. But let me tell you something. Having everything does not mean you feel full inside. I had so many things, but there was always this quiet feeling in me. Like something was missing. Like there was a door inside my chest that had never been opened. I did not know what was behind that door. I just knew something was not complete. We were Muslim. Deeply Muslim. My father prayed 5 times every day without missing. He read the Quran every morning before the sun came up. He gave money to the poor. He fasted every Ramadan without fail. In our house, Islam was not just a religion. It was the air we breathed. It was who we were. And I believed everything I was taught. I prayed. I fasted. I covered myself. I did everything the way I was taught to do it. Every year, my father would take our family to Mecca for Umrah during Ramadan. This was a big deal. Not everyone can afford to go to Mecca. But my father could, and he made sure we went every year. For him, it was the highest thing he could do for his family. He believed he was bringing us closer to God by taking us there. The year everything changed, I was 22 years old. We arrived in Mecca the way we always did. Everything was big and beautiful and loud. Thousands and thousands of people everywhere. People from every country you can think of. All of them dressed in white. All of them praying, calling out, crying, asking God for things. There is something about Mecca that makes you feel small. You stand in front of the Kaaba and you feel like a tiny dot in a very big world. I had been there many times before, but that year felt different from the moment we arrived. I could not explain it. Something was in the air. On the 3rd night, we went to do Dawaf. That is when you walk around the Kaaba 7 times while praying. The crowd was so thick that night. People were pressing against each other from every side. My father was walking ahead of me. I was trying to keep up, saying my prayers the way I had been taught, moving my lips, raising my hands. And then it happened. I do not have a better way to say it than this. Something hit me. Not a person. Not anything I could touch. But something came into me from the inside. A warmth. A weight. A presence so strong that my legs stopped working. I stood still in the middle of thousands of moving people. My father kept walking. He did not notice I had stopped. Everyone kept moving around me like water around a stone. And then I saw him. I know how that sounds. I know some people will read this and not believe me. That is okay. But I am telling you what I saw with my own eyes, even though my eyes were not exactly open in the normal way. It was like I was awake and asleep at the same time. Like I was standing in Mecca and also somewhere else. The 2 places were happening together. He was standing there. A man. But not just a man. I knew from the moment I saw him that this was not a regular person. There was light around him. Not like a lamp or a flashlight. Not like anything I had seen before. The light was coming from him. And his face. I cannot find the right words for his face. It was the most peaceful thing I had ever seen in my life. I had never felt so seen by anyone. He looked at me like he had known me before I was born. Like he had been waiting for this moment for a very long time. He said my name. He said, Zainab, I am the way, the truth, and the life. I started crying. I did not choose to cry. The tears just came. My whole body was shaking. Not from fear. From something much bigger than fear. It was like every question I had ever asked inside my chest was getting answered at the same time, even though no more words were spoken. That door I told you about, the one inside my chest that had never been opened, it swung open. And what came out of it was so much light. I do not know how long I was in that place. Time did not feel like time. My father found me. He was calling my name in the real world. I could hear his voice coming from far away, like someone calling you from outside when you are deep inside a dream. He grabbed my arm. He shook me. He called my name louder. He was scared, I think. He thought I had fainted or that something was wrong with me. He was pulling at me, calling for people to help, asking someone to bring water. But I could not come back just because he was calling. The presence on me was too heavy, too real, too strong. My body was there, but I was somewhere else, and I did not want to leave. The peace I was feeling in that moment was something I had been looking for my whole life without knowing I was looking for it. No amount of money had ever given me that feeling. No prayer I had prayed before had ever given me that feeling. When I finally came back fully to where I was standing, I opened my mouth. And what came out was not Arabic. It was not Hausa. It was not English. It was not any language I had ever heard or spoken before. The words were coming out of me fast and heavy, like water breaking through a wall. I was speaking and I could not stop. People around me stepped back. My father looked at me like he did not know who I was. He was saying, "Zainab, stop. What is wrong with you? Stop this." But I could not stop. I had never spoken in tongues before. I did not even believe in such a thing. But there I was, in the middle of Mecca, speaking words that were coming from somewhere deeper than my mind. When it finally stopped, I felt empty and full at the same time. Empty of everything heavy. Full of something clean. My father was furious. He did not speak to me the whole night. The next morning, he called me into his room and told me I had embarrassed the family. He said I had been distracted by something evil. He said I needed to pray harder and ask God to forgive whatever had entered me. I sat there and listened to him. I respected him. I loved him. But I knew what I had seen. I knew what had happened to me. And no explanation he gave could reach the place where that experience had landed inside me. When we returned home, I started reading about Jesus. Quietly. On my phone, late at night. Every story I read, every word he had spoken that was written down, I felt that same warmth. That same presence. It was like he was sitting next to me every time I read. 3 months after we came back from Mecca, I told my father I had accepted Jesus. I have never seen my father look at me the way he looked at me that day. Not with anger first. With pain. Deep pain. Like I had taken something from him that he could not get back. Then the anger came. He shouted. He said things I will not repeat here. He brought the whole family together. Uncles. Aunties. My mother. Everyone sat around me and talked to me for hours. Some of them begged me. Some of them threatened me. One of my uncles said I had been bewitched by Christians. Another said I was doing it for a man. My mother cried and held my hands and asked me what she had done wrong. I told them the truth. I told them what I saw in Mecca. Some of them laughed. Some of them looked at me like I was sick. Then came the pressure. Real pressure. My father said he would take me to a very powerful Islamic teacher who would pray the thing out of me. I went. The man prayed over me for a long time. When he finished, he asked me if I still believed. I said yes. He told my father he could not help me. My father stopped my allowance. Then he told me I had to leave the house. I packed one bag. One bag for a girl who used to have a closet full of everything. I walked out of a mansion and did not know where I was going to sleep that night. My father stood at the door and watched me go. He said if I continued on this road, I was no longer his daughter. He said my name would not be mentioned in that house again. I walked down that long driveway with one bag and tears running down my face. But here is the thing that still surprises me when I think about it. Underneath the tears, underneath the fear of not knowing where I was going, there was that peace. The same peace I felt in Mecca when I saw him. It was still there. It had not left. It was sitting right in the middle of all the pain, steady and quiet, like a fire that wind cannot blow out. A small church took me in. A woman there gave me a room. People I had never met before became my family overnight. They fed me. They prayed with me. They sat with me on the nights I cried about my father. It has not been easy. I will not lie to you and say everything became beautiful after that. Some days are very hard. I miss my mother. I miss my little brothers. I miss things about my old life that I cannot even name. Sometimes I wonder if my father thinks about me. But I do not regret anything. Because what I found is more real than anything I ever had in that big house. The peace I carry now is not something my father can give me or take from me. It did not come from money. It did not come from a comfortable life. It came from that moment in Mecca when a man made of light said my name and opened a door inside me that I did not even know was there. I gave up everything to follow Jesus. And I would do it again tomorrow without thinking twice.